So when you decide to get involved with Pathfinder Society, you are playing Pathfinder. It is a way to get your fix, be it Pathfinder or Starfinder. When you select organized play, you are playing that game. One little caveat, though, is that you are playing by the same rules as you would for Pathfinder 2nd Edition or Starfinder, depending on how you're getting into organized play. But it is a sanctioned subset of the rules, and I just wanted to show everyone where you can go to go find these rules. So my name is Don. I'm trying to be the theSlyStrategist, and let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and start this section just by reminding you how to get to Pathfinder Society under the Organized Play section. You can go to paizo.com and you can do it from any web page. If you go to Organized Play and you can click on Pathfinder Society, it will go ahead and bring you to this page. If you wanted to play Starfinder Society, you could. If you want to do the Adventure Card Society, you could do that from there as well. But we're going to stick just to Pathfinder Society because that's kind of what I know about. So you get to this page. It has a lot of information. We kind of showed it in the other video, but once again, you can see all the different scenario quests, bounties, the different factions there are, a little story about Pathfinder Society, but then I want you to kind of pay attention to the Pathfinder Society resources. You can go to the Getting Started page, and the Getting Started page basically takes you here, which is a little bit more tailored, a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter focused page about Pathfinder Society that takes you to a little bit more explanation about scenarios, quests, and bounties, as well as the character creation, what kind of rewards you can get, as well as, once again, how to get started, which is available on the other page, as well as some terms to know. But one of the big things I kind of wanted to show you are, well, two things in general. First, that would be your character options. So if you click on this link here, it will basically take you to this page, character options, which kind of explains the character creation process, or at least the thought behind it. Talk about the rarity, what type of systems you have, access you have to certain things that you can have for your character creation, availability, standard, limited, restricted, as well as a table that deals with this whole rarity and options that you have, as well as using options, how you have to own the resources that you want to use, as well as the rule books that you can use for Pathfinder Society. As new rule books come out, as new Lost Omen books come out, it isn't necessarily going to be part of Pathfinder Society immediately. Sometimes they're going to have to kind of take a look at it and see where it fits in. So this is a listing of all the rule books as well as the Lost Omen books that are available to Pathfinder Society as of this day that I am making this video. Now, going back to this main page here, the other thing I wanted to show you was go ahead and clicking on Guide to Organized Play. So once you go to this page, this is kind of the player handbook, basically, for Pathfinder Society play. I personally would take and click on the Getting Started with Pathfinder Society, and it will explain a lot of the things we talked about in the first video, as well as maybe go into a little bit more detail, allow you to read it. Sometimes it's easier when you see it on a page to be able to understand it rather than have someone talk to you about it. But it is a way to go ahead and kind of get started. We'll go ahead and go back for a second. The other thing I wanted to look at is you can go ahead and download a PDF of this entire section, or what I personally like to do, because it reminds me more of the player handbook, is you can do a single player layout. You do single player layout, and you are going to go ahead and get kind of all the rules for Pathfinder Society, just kind of broken up into sections here, and you can scroll down and it'll all be in one page. You can also get this as a PDF. It did have that link to download it as a PDF, but this kind of lets you know what the rules are specifically tailored to Pathfinder Society. And this is a very important document to look at and to refer to when you're creating your characters and deciding on adventures, deciding on scenarios, bounties, quests, or whether certain adventure paths are sanctioned for Pathfinder Society play. As well as it actually gives you a little bit of a Lost Omens lore section to look at for Pathfinder Society. In general, this is probably one of the best places to look at if you have questions about Pathfinder Society And I really think you should take a look at it. Now that we go back to the Pathfinder Society Guide to Organized Play, I do want to note that there are certain tabs. You have Getting Started, you have Players, which kind of gives you a little bit more as a player on what you need to know. There's also a Game Master tab. The Game Master tab gives you additional adventures, rewards that GMs get for running the game, and there are some pretty nice rewards that you get for being a Game Master for Pathfinder Society. Basically, aside from the different rating system that you can get, when you are running a scenario, quest, or boon, and let's say some of your players didn't find everything or didn't get all the rewards that they could have gotten out of that particular scenario, a GM always gets everything, and it gets added so that they can build their own characters based off what they can get as rewards. How to convert earlier scenarios to current ones, table variations and creative solutions, and dealing with the unexpected. So it does have some really good GM advice, as well as volunteer advice. If you are doing this as part of an event, usually this would be cons, but if your local game store is running some type of Pathfinder Society event, this would be something that you could read into. Now, I do hope you enjoyed this short guide on basically where all the resources are so that you can look at and kind of try to decide if you want to play in Pathfinder Society. And if you do, how you get started, or more importantly, or not necessarily more importantly, but I know that it's needed, is if you wanted to game master for Pathfinder Society. Pathfinder Society is a good place to cut your teeth because they have smaller adventures, they're very self contained, and they provide a lot of information once you start looking at the scenarios. So I do hope you like this video, and if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great day and happy adventuring. Thanks.